kind of like shelf fungus, and usually shelf fungus is like really hard. It's growing on the side of trees, and the reason it's so hard is because it needs to last longer than a normal mushroom.
So it goes hard, basically.
Yeah, all mushrooms are made of like hyphae, which are essentially these like hair-like strands, structural material that they're just all made of. Most like standalone mushrooms that are like have like the round cap and then the stem that goes down, like those will all just be made of one kind of hyphae. But then these polypores and like shelfs and bracket fungus and all these things have other kinds of hyphae in them as well, known as like structural and skeletal hyphae, which just sort of like let it last for longer. It's like bones. Yeah.
Whoa.
This is like a Russula, another one of those brittle gills, like that little one. And you can see the gills are very brittle.
Whoa. They look like almonds.
Yeah, exactly.
Chopped almonds.
And like the Russulas are a family of mushrooms, are the only ones that the gills will kind of flake like almonds like that.
Cool.
And then with these, you can also like snap the stem and they'll snap really easily.
The bone marrow.
You can tell if they're like nasty and old and buggy, if they're nasty and old and buggy inside. There's a little worm on this one. He's not having much fun, but he's curled up. He's in defense mode. These Russulas grow everywhere. Here's another one that's also probably bugged up. And these mushrooms will be like some of the first to come out after the rain. You can tell this one's like a little more sound, less buggy just because it's heavier. But it's still like pretty nasty on the inside. A good way to identify a Russula mushroom is the brittle gills and the stem that snaps.
Yeah.
Alright, so here we have growing what's known as the false chanterelle, or Hygrophilopsis aurantica. A lot of people think these look like chanterelles. Once you get like more into foraging and mycology, you'll realize they don't really look like chanterelles. There's a few key differences. One, like the stem turns brown here, and chanterelles will usually be sort of one homogeneous color throughout. Also, when you pop this one open, you see it's orange on the inside. Chanterelles will always be white. These are also very flimsy, and once you find an actual like chanterelle, like you'll realize that chanterelles are very like solid, meaty mushrooms. So that's another key distinction. And also, these have real gills. So if you like look at the bottom here, like mushrooms will always have some kind of spore-producing surface underneath the cap, and in this case, it's gills. So you can see these are all like real gills. They go all the way to the back. And unlike those brittle gills that we found earlier, these gills kind of just mush when you touch them. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because chanterelles don't actually have gills. They have more like ridges or veins, which are like much more widely spaced and aren't anything like this once you see them. So that's the false chanterelle. Scientists like still classify this as one species, although they've done like genetic testing on these mushrooms within the Pacific Northwest and found 5 different subspecies. And a lot of mushrooms are like that. You never know really what the actual like deal is because we just like have so little research in this field.
I mean, chanterelles are obviously edible, but these are not.
Yeah, so these are like, I know people who have eaten them and they're like fine.
Right. So they won't kill you. I mean,
I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
Someone's going to go and eat it and die.
Right. Don't eat them.
Field guys will list this as inedible, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's poisonous, but it probably just means that if you cook it, it'll turn into a soggy mess. It'll taste like shit. You wouldn't want to eat this.
Don't eat the false chanterelles.
Don't eat the false chanterelles. They're false for a reason.
They're posers.
Find the real ones.
Find the real ones. Always
Or you
eyes
get
up
your
for the
money
real.
up, or you get your money up.
Or you get your health up, or you get your wealth up.
Yeah, you only have 2 options in this life.
Bro, that
Holy
mushroom
shit, I almost
underneath
toppled
looks like
it.
it's gotten bit out by a angry bird or something, like a
Angry
cartoon
bird?
fucking monster.
Oh, there's another one over here. Whoa, this one's so cool too. It has such like a little like bulb on the top here.
You know in Despicable Me, the tortilla chip hats? That
Bro,
with
how could I
guacamole-
ever forget?
With guacamole inside?
Bro, we could put guac on this. No, it
Give
doesn't
it
go
right
well
now,
with
like your take. What mushroom goes best with guac? Out of all the mushrooms in the world.
guac. You're really putting me on the spot here. I'm gonna have to go
This is
cauliflower mushroom.
Cauliflower mushroom.
And I staked one out, so we'll find one today.
Yeah.
Even though they're like
Nice.
rare as fuck. So
We don't just say shit, you know what I mean? Like we say it's the best with guac, we're gonna eat it with guac.
you can see like I pulled this mushroom up, and you can see this like little strand coming off. That's like a piece of the mycelium essentially. You can see the actual fungus itself. It's just like a million of these little hairs, sort of webbing throughout the ground that are interconnected and always communicating. Now I have no idea what kind of mushroom this is, but it's kind of cool. Most mushrooms don't have this little like bump in the middle. One key way to identify mushrooms is by smell. They like often have strange and interesting smells. Like there's this one that I hope we find today that smells like just like grape candy.
Ooh.
That would be sick. And then chanterelles kind of smell
They
like
grow around here?
the grape candy ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, chanterelles like have like an apricot-like smell. Some mushrooms smell like garlic, but even like stronger than garlic, so it's kind of insane. Like garlic smells like the mushrooms. If only we had smell-o-vision. Like that still hasn't become a thing, hey?
Yeah. we gotta figure
Bruh,
out
like-
You know that big series of shows they made, like Spy Kids or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the theaters one time and they like handed out these little like scratch and sniff cards. Because I guess they were like trying out like smell-o-vision. So like on the screen they would like display number 1. And then you would have this like little scratch card with number 1. So you'd like
That's so
scratch
sick.
number 1 and like smell it. But it kind of sucked because like they all just smelled like farts. And they sucked. Like they would make you smell the worst shit.
Do you
Like-
think that someone like did that as a prank?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. Because like they
like
would
whose
be...
job was that?
They would be like cooking food and they like wouldn't display anything, and then like someone would like go into like some public washroom and they'd like smell 5. You know? Like,
Whose fucking fart did they sample for that?
yeah, I don't know. Who has like the fart, like the
I
one
was
true
thinking
fart?
that, like the sound effect. Like if you Google like fart sound effect on YouTube and you take the most popular one.
Who
like,
did that?
Who did that? Who had the most perfect fart? And they were like,
Bro.
this
shit
fart
looks like
encapsulates
German.
all the farts. Like,
The one where the guy was like writing the letter to her, like your
oh
farts.
yeah, that's James Joyce. Isn't
James Joyce, yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
it? You wrote Ulysses.
It's a
and
pretty
you
cool
wrote
little
Fart
mushroom.
Porn.
Fart porn?
Bruh. We'll
do you
read
know?
some
What do you know about
later.
fart porn?
I don't know
Lucas?
nothing about
Nora Barnacle.
Is that the one that was
What?
played at? You know that when like Katie came over and then
Yeah.
that was fucked.
That was so
crazy.
funny.
Have you heard of this?
What are you talking
James
about?
Joyce, like the writer of Ulysses,
It's like-
he like wrote his girlfriend like fart love letters.
Can you guys read me a fart?
No, what
Bro,
is it?
You can't read. You gotta read
Long,
them yourself.
windy
Like
ones.
they're like.
Like, no
fuck.
one's reading them.
She was like quick little farts and then like
Yeah.
big long whooshing farts.
He was like-
and then
he
shit
was
like
like,
that.
"Oh, I
It
can-"
was-
What?
She got into or was it he? I guess it was
He,
he.
yeah,
he
James
got
Joyce.
into detail about some farts. Like he loved that. He like.
He loved her farts specifically. He said
Yeah.
he could pick them out of a room of farts.
That's impressive.
I'm shocked.
I'm also
love the
fucking
farts.
shocked.
Enamored by the scent. The scent of farts.
Mushroom Hunter.
So once again,
I can,
Should we get it?
I can hear him.
can you hear it?
What the fuck is
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Hold up. Okay.
He's actually rocking
Go
with
back, go
this.
back.
Bro's focusing. Let him focus.
Let's
Okay,
go.
this is the velvet roll rim. Same mushroom we saw earlier. I just pulled this one out because it's a really great example of the mycelium underneath the mushroom. So like all that hairy stuff in there, that's the root network that the fungus itself. So you can like see all that hairiness, that fuzziness. That is the mycelium.
Blended.
Absolutely splendid. Really cool.
Are you good, BT?
Really.
Yeah, of course I'm good. I'm just saying, I warned you. Like, it ain't my fault.
How was the piss?
Just chill.